In this presentation, we will learn how to insert a node at the beginning of the single linked list. So let's get started. Let us suppose that we already have this list and we want to insert this node to the beginning of this list. Okay, this is our job. We want this node to become the first node of this list. In order to do this, we need to perform certain procedures. I would like to tell you that head is the pointer which is pointing to the first node of this list and ptr is the pointer which is pointing to this node. In order to add this node to the beginning of this list, here are the few steps we require. First step is ptr link equal to head, which means that we need to update the link part of this node first. And actually it will get updated by this address 1000, which means that this node will point to this node, right? Of course, I want to make this node the first node of this list. So the link part of this node must point to this node so that this becomes the second node of the list. Isn't that so? So ptr link equal to head does the same job. It actually updates the link part of this node. After that, head equals to ptr is required, which means the head pointer must point to this node. Isn't that so? Head will get updated by 3000 and then after that it will point to this node. Isn't that easy? Now the head pointer is pointing to this node, which means that this is the first node of the list and the final result so obtained looks like this. By just 2 lines of code, we would be able to add this node at the beginning of the list. Wow, this is interesting. But I would like to point out something here. Here the sequence of these steps are very important. You can't put this step before this step, let me tell you. Okay, this is very important. Why is that so? What happens if we put head equal to ptr first and then after that ptr link equal to head? You should understand that if you update head first, then it will point to this node. Then you won't be able to update the link part of this node anymore because the only way to update the link part of this node is through head pointer. That is why head must be updated later. If you update the head first, then it will point to this node, which means now it contains this address 3000. You actually lost the reference of the first node of this list. There is no other way to access this node any further. That is why it is important to update the link part of this node first and then after that you should update the head pointer. Now let's discuss this program which is adding the data at the beginning of the list. So here in this main function you can see these 3 lines of code which is actually helping us to create a node of the list. So here the head pointer is pointing to this node of the list. We want to create the same list and for this purpose the first node needs to be created first. After that we'll create another node of this list and here this ptr is pointing to this node. And of course we need to update the link part of this node. For this purpose head link equal to ptr has to be evaluated, right? So here the link part will get updated by 2000 address and this means that now it is pointing to this node. After this I have declared a variable data because I want to create a new node and I want to insert this data. So here is the data. After that I'm calling this add beginning function. This function will actually add the node to the beginning of this list, that is this particular list, okay? Here in this function we need to pass the head pointer and of course the data. Here is the add back function and here you can see the head will receive the address 1000, which is the address of the first node of this list, and d will receive the data. You can see over here that I have declared these 3 simple steps. Now with the help of these 3 simple steps I would be able to create this node without any problem. ptr is the pointer which is pointing to this node and then after that I just simply update the link part of this node which we have already seen, right? So the link part will now get updated by this address, that is 1000. And after that I'll simply update the head pointer, which means that this pointer will point to this particular node. After these 2 simple steps, a new node has been added at the beginning of the list. And this is the list so obtained, right? After this, I'll simply return head, which means I'll return the address 3000 back to the main function which is received by this head. Now we have this list available in our main function as well. Then I'll update the ptr by head, which means that now ptr is also pointing to the first node of this list. And then with this procedure, I'll just print all the data on the screen, right? So here comes the first step, that is we will check this condition, is ptr not equal to null? Yes, ptr is not equal to null. So we'll get inside and we'll print the data on the screen. That is the data of the first node of this list. Because ptr is pointing to the first node and ptr data will give the data of the first node of the list. So 3 will get printed on the screen. After this we will update the ptr. This means that ptr is now pointing to the second node of the list. And then after that we'll again check, is ptr equal to null? No, it is not. So we'll get inside, we'll print the data, 45 will get printed. After this we'll again update the ptr and now it will point to the third node of the list. And then after that we'll again check, is ptr equal to null? No, still it is not equal to null. We'll get inside, print the data and then again update the ptr. This time it contains null. So we'll again check, is ptr equal to null? Yes, so we'll get outside and we are done with this program. So this is how the whole program works, and this program is helping us to add the data at the beginning of the list, and this is very simple program. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation.